Is it possible for you to speak English fluently in just 30 days? Is it possible? Yeah, it is very possible. And it is not only me who is saying this, it's the author of this book called Personal MBA, Josh Kaufman, says that it takes less than 1 month to learn a skill and become decent at that skill. Like, it takes only 20 hours of focused practice. If you give 20 hours of focused practice on any skill, you are going to become decent at that skill. And this is what the author of this book, Josh Kaufman, says. And today I am going to share with you the techniques through which you are going to become a decent speaker at speaking English in just 30 days. I am going to be talking about from my experience also, like how much time did it take me to become a fluent speaker in this language. I come from a Hindi medium background, and as a Hindi medium student, it was very hard for me. It was very big deal for me to learn this language, let alone speaking in this language. 4 years ago, I can't even imagine myself speaking English the way I am speaking right now, but it has been possible because of the practice, because of the deliberate practice I was making every single day. Like, I was making efforts towards speaking English every single day, and that is why it has been possible for me. And today in this video, I am going to talk about what I did to become a fluent speaker, and how, most importantly, how you are going to learn to speak English fluently in just 30 days. Yeah, if you are willing to put deliberate practice every single day towards learning English for the next 30 days, it is very possible that you are going to become a very decent speaker at speaking English. The author of the book named The Personal MBA, named Josh Kaufman, says that if you are willing to put 20 hours of focused practice on a skill, you are going to become decent at that skill. Yeah, it is true that to become a master at a skill, you need to put 10,000 hours. It is researched that in order for you to become a master at a skill, you need 10,000 hours. But you know, that is for experts, that is for extraordinary people. But if you want to become decent at a skill, you only need to spend 20 hours of focused practice, 20 hours of deliberate practice. That's what all you need to become a decent at speaking English. If you want to speak English, you will become decent at speaking English if you just spend 20 hours of focused practice. But what kind of practice? You must be thinking, you know, Gulshan, I have made 100 hours of practice, even I have not become a decent speaker. You need to practice in a right way. But before I talk about anything else, let me tell you the definition of deliberate practice. Yeah, let me tell you the definition of deliberate practice. Like, if you are learning a skill, there are levels. Like, if you are learning English, there's beginner level, intermediate level, advanced level, upper advanced level. So if you are learning a skill, there is a level called plateau level. If you reach that level, growth happens very slowly. It feels that you are not growing from that level. And that is where deliberate practice comes into the picture. That is where you have to practice every single day, even if you are not feeling like you are making progress, but you have to push yourself to learn something new every single day. That's how you are going to learn something new every single day, and you are going to become decent in just 30 days. And I have learned this from a book named Be So Good That They Can't Ignore You. And that book is so powerful. So now let me tell you, what would I do to become a decent speaker if I was you? Where do I start? So if I was you, what I would do is, I would start from cramming all the sentences that are being commonly used in day-to-day life. Yeah, there might be 500 sentences that are being used in day-to-day life. I would write down all those sentences in my notebook, and I would cram all those sentences, and I would use those sentences in my day-to-day conversation. That's how I would have started if I was you. That's what I'm saying. I would write down all the sentences, and there might not be more than 500 sentences. that are being used in day-to-day life. And that's how you have to do. You need to write down all the sentences that are being commonly used in day-to-day life and cram all those sentences, no matter what it takes. Cram all those sentences and learn about context a little bit, like in what context I should be using this sentence, in what context I should be using that sentence. So that's how I would have started. Now let's talk about the second thing that I would do to become a decent speaker at speaking English if I was you. That would be, I would pay attention to all the vocabs that people are using in their day-to-day life, and I would write down all those vocabs in my notebook, and I would cram all those vocabs no matter how much time it takes. I would just cram all those vocabs, and it's only, I think, 1000 to 15,000 words that people use when they are describing their situation, and when they are talking in English or in any language in day-to-day life. They are only using 1000 to 1500 words when they're describing situations. There are only 1000 words that you have to cram, and it's not going to take that much amount of time. So I would cram all those vocabs, and I would use those vocabs in my conversation every single day. That's how I would have started. Now, what is the third thing that I would do to become a decent speaker at speaking English? I would not care about the mistakes while learning this language, because I know I am learning this language and mistakes might happen, and if that happens, let it happen, because making mistakes is part of learning something. Like if you're learning something, mistakes are bound to happen, so you don't have to care about that. Like many people I have seen, they stopped speaking in English just because they made a mistake and someone pointed out to their English and they just stopped speaking. No bro, if you do that, you are never going to grow in your life. No matter in what field you are trying to grow, you are never going to grow. The point here is, my idea here is to keep growing, keep learning this language, keep making mistake. Even if something that you don't want to happen happens, let it happen and keep focusing on your goal, which is to speak English fluently. And you don't have to care about the people that might make fun of you when you will make mistakes. You don't have to do all of that. If I would have cared about making mistakes while speaking in English, like I would have never become the person I have become today. I just want you to just be focused on learning this language and be focused on your goal, which is to speak English fluently. What is the fourth thing that I would do to become a decent speaker at speaking English if I was you? I would do 4 things which are required for anyone to learn a language: listening, speaking, writing, and reading. I would listen to something or the other every single day in English. I would read something or the other in English every single day. I would speak this language in front of a mirror if I don't have anyone. I would write something or the other every single day in English. So I would do these 4 things every single day, along with what I am doing, like cramming the sentences or paying attention to commonly used vocabulary. I would also pay attention to listening, reading, writing, and speaking. These are the things that I would have done if I had to learn English in just 30 days. This is my personal opinion, this is my personal view, this is what I would have done if I had started learning English and wanted to become a decent speaker in just 30 days. If you do this, I think this will make you a decent speaker. If you found this video helpful, I just want you to hit the like button, and also I want you to subscribe to this channel because it motivates me to make more videos.